examined in the previous video, Messiah warned us 2,000 years ago that there will be a concerted effort on the part of the beast to one day deceive the masses of people into thinking that a new God has arrived, and that we will all need to abandon our former beliefs and follow this false Messiah and the new world religion that he will endorse. Let's just say that in a few months from now, a new light appears and descends over the Temple Mount, and out comes a beautiful figure of light that claims to be our God. He is able to call down fire from heaven in the sight of men to prove his point. And all the churches get excited and embrace this E.T.-style Christ as the true God. How are we supposed to know if this is the true return of the Messiah, or if it's the counterfeit return that we were specifically warned of 2,000 years ago? The only way to know for sure is to study what Messiah himself said about this very thing. For he took the time to explain it in detail so that those who are really his would not be deceived. The reason I'm taking the time to address this topic is because this last UFO mass sighting has stirred up a lot of speculation as to if this event has something to do with God visiting the Temple Mount. Remember that the long-awaited return of the Messiah will one day occur at this very place. This is also the spot where Muhammad supposedly ascended into heaven. And it is also the very spot that the scriptures say the Antichrist will perform his giant deception as well. Just to make it clear, I am not making this into a religious issue. It is inherently a religious issue all by itself, based on its unique location and also by the nature of the object that descended. It is inherently more of a religious issue than I can even express. So let us examine exactly what Yeshua HaMashiach, commonly known as Jesus Christ by Western Christianity, has to say about his own return, as recorded in the Gospels. And then we'll take a look at his warning concerning the false Messiah and his counterfeit return, that he warned us will deceive the whole world one day. Now, the scriptures specifically warn that before the real Messiah returns, there will be a false Messiah that shows up who will perform great signs and wonders in the heavens, and who will also sit in the throne of God on the Temple Mount where the sighting occurred, and claim that he is God. Now you see the significance of this event religiously. Okay, let's read what Messiah had to say about all this. Turn to Matthew 24 if you want to follow along. And Jesus went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came to him for to show him the buildings of the temple. And Jesus said unto them, See ye not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon the other that is not thrown down. And he sat upon the Mount of Olives, and the disciples came to him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming? And what will be the sign of the end of the world? And Jesus answered them and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. And ye shall hear of wars, and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in divers places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. They shall deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you. And ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. And then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. And many false prophets shall rise, and shall deceive many. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations. And then shall the end come. When ye therefore shall see the abomination of desolation, spoken of by Daniel the prophet, stand in the holy place, whosoever readeth, let him understand. Then let them which be in Judea flee into the mountains. Let him which is on the housetop not come down to take anything out of his house. Neither let him which is in the field return back to take his clothes. And woe unto them which are with child, and to them that give suck in those days. But pray that your flight be not in the winter, nor on the Sabbath day. For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, nor shall ever be. And except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. Then if any man shall say unto you, Lo, here is Christ, or there, believe it not. For there shall arise false Christs and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders, insomuch that if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. Behold, I have told you before. Wherefore, if they shall say unto you, Behold, he is in the desert, go not forth. Or, Behold, he is in the secret chambers, believe it not. For as the lightning cometh out of the east, and shineth even unto the west, so shall the coming of the Son of Man be. For wheresoever the carcass is, there will be the eagles gathered together. Immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of the heaven shall be shaken. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in the heaven. And then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to another. So you see, when Jesus describes his second coming here, it's going to be unmistakable. There's going to be no possible way anyone is going to get this confused with a UFO hovering someplace. Now learn a parable of the fig tree. When his branch is yet tender and putteth forth leaves, ye know that the summer is nigh. So likewise, when ye shall see all these things, know that it is near, even at the doors. Verily I say unto you, this generation shall not pass till all these things be fulfilled. Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my word shall not pass away. But of that day and hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only. But as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying, giving in marriage, until the day that Noah entered into the ark, and knew not until the flood came and took them all away. So shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. Then shall be two in the field, one shall be taken and the other left. 2 women shall be grinding at the mill, the one taken and the other left. Watch therefore, for ye know not what hour your Lord doth come. So basically, here's what we need to look out for. If one day a UFO comes down from heaven, and this ball of light descends and lands right on the Temple Mount, and this beautiful being of light emerges, saying that it is the new Christ that has come to free us of our old religious systems and bring world peace, we can be sure that that is the false Messiah, especially if it starts doing signs and wonders and calling down fire from heaven in the sight of men, deceiving the entire world. We know that Messiah has specifically warned us that he would try to do that. Now, the criteria for the real Messiah and his return is a lot more dramatic than that. We're going to see the sun be completely blotted out of the sky. This is going to be after the Great Tribulation and all the nuclear war and whatever, all the bad stuff that's going to happen. The moon is not going to give its light anymore. The stars shall fall from the heavens, and the powers of heaven shall be shaken themselves. You're going to see the Son of Man coming down from the clouds, from heaven, with all power and great glory. Then you're going to see people start waking from the dead and popping out of their graves and flying up into heaven. That's hard to fake. That's a very difficult one to hoax. When you look out the window and you see the graves start popping open at the local cemetery and people flying up there. On top of that, you don't even have to really worry about it if you're his to know if it's his or not. Then, after you see all those things, his angels will be sent across the four corners of the earth to gather up all the elect. So once an angel comes and grabs you by the armpits and pulls you up physically into the sky to meet him in the air, you can know that it was not the Messiah. The true return of Messiah will be unmistakable. Don't confuse the true Messiah with the false Messiah who's going to pop out of a UFO someday, or whatever his mechanism is going to be, and claim that he's the new Christ with his little fancy robes bringing promises of world peace while he does a cute little hologram light show behind him. Don't fall for that one. The return of the true Messiah will shake the world to its very foundation. And the kings of the earth and every low man is going to be crawling under the mountains, crying for the rocks to fall down and crush them, so that they can hide from the face of the Lamb. Unmistakable. This is why we need to stay sharp with the Word, because the times are going to bring some very, very, very convincing deceptions. Whatever fancy light show they might come up with in the future here shortly, don't fall for it. Peace.